All right. At this time, Randy Section with Epic Church is going to lead us in invocation. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your great love for us. Thank you that we can bring our requests to you. We thank you that you do watch over us, and we also pray for those in Texas who have endured such devastation, that you would grant grace and peace to them. Pray for this meeting, that you would grant wisdom and guidance for all who have responsibility and all the decisions that are to be made tonight. And we ask you to be with our police and firefighters and first responders. Give them strength and guidance as they answer their calls. And we pray for your continued protection over the city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. If you would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. At this time, I'll open up for a public forum. If you have something you'd like to say, state your name, your address, and please keep it short. No takers? How are you? All right. Public forum is closed. Acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Proclamation, and Councilman Phil is going to read this for us.
You guys can come on up here. Whereas on Thursday, June 5th, 2025, the Andover Central High School esports team competing in the game Super Smash Brothers won the Play VS Cup West National Championship. And whereas this is the highest level of high school scholastic competition in North America with competitors from across the United States and Canada. And whereas this national victory came after the team secured both the Kansas State Championship and the Midwest Regional Championship, completing an undefeated regular and postseason with a perfect 14-0 record. And whereas the team comprised of Natalie Fontes, Sean Fontes, Charles Ott, and alternate Lucas Jensen demonstrated extraordinary skill, dedication, and sportsmanship, with Natalie and Sean going undefeated in all individual matches throughout the competition. And whereas the Play VS League includes nearly 300 teams nationwide, making this title an extraordinary feat. And whereas the ACHS esports program serves as a place of belonging for students who may not otherwise feel represented by traditional extracurricular offerings, while promoting academic engagement and healthy digital habits. And whereas the esports coach Aaron Weatherby said, "This postseason has been an adventure, and it's been an honor to be part of this historic victory and team. These kids are truly exceptional, and I would not be surprised if we see them again, but on the world stage competitions. Therefore, I, Phil Hamilton, with the City Council assembled in regular session on the 8th day of July 2025, hereby proclaim July 9th, 2025, Esports Super Smash Brothers Team Championship Day."
Hey, Coach, this isn't the first time we've seen you in here. Have you coached some other teams at school that have reached a state championship? Oh,
Yes, that's where it was.
Well, I just want to say that.
You want to come sit up here and hang out with us?
I just want to say that's awesome, and it shows what you're doing with the younger generation. And congrats to you guys. I mean, that's those numbers alone, 300, top out of 300 in the nation. That's pretty cool. And then going undefeated is pretty awesome. So you guys keep it up, all right? Congratulations.
All right. Good job. All right, presentations, 8-1, presentation municipal golf course, first quarter report 2025. And Dick Stuntz is going to talk to us about this. How you doing, sir?
Very good, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Well, if you got your, report that I gave you, you can see that the first quarter of the year, of course, is January through March, our play and revenues were down about 35% from year over year. But obviously, the first quarter in the golf industry is not very alarming, and we had terrible weather. So it only represents, that quarter only represents 12% of our rounds and revenues for the year. So it's not alarming, and it's very understandable. We've picked up since then to kind of move forward to the second quarter. We had a lot of rain interruptions for the second quarter, but certainly they have paid dividends in course conditions this year. I'm very pleased with the progress on our course conditions, and I'm approaching being proud. Okay, approaching, yeah. And much thanks to the city council and city staff for working on our equipment situation. And we have 3 of the 5 pieces that we leased for. And one of the pieces, the robots that we had the big demonstration, maybe you all heard, has fallen through. BAS Crest decided that they wanted I don't know, Mr. Klaus maybe could address that better, but they wanted the laws of North Carolina, and if there's any disputes, to be settled in North Carolina. And I fully support not signing that document. I do not understand them for being stubborn about that, but that's the way it is. I ran into this on a lease at another property one time, and it was the same decision by Platte County, Missouri. They said, we're not going to settle disputes in a faraway place. So anyway, we're going to regroup on that, and we don't know if we can find maybe an alternative to that. We very well may be back at a later date to take another look at robots. But anyway, that's that. Other than that, the irrigation system, the big project that we started in December of last year, was completed in January. So that's a first quarter report. We just have one minor little wire that didn't get reconnected from the controller to a valve that has to be done yet. We'll be done over the next week or two. And other than that, it's complete. It's all working well. And what a pleasure to have the security that provides us. Obviously, irrigation this year has been less than normal, but it still is a needed entity for Greens irrigation, and everything is working the best it's ever been by quite a bit since I've been around. So many thanks to the council and the staff and everything working together to advance that irrigation system as far as we are, and it's very, very helpful. So with that, I'd take any questions.
Anyone have a
Mr.
question?
Mayor. So Dick, so was that your legal or our legal stopping the lease agreement?
City legal.
And I would like to speak up on that. So we sent back the typical feedback we get from legal on various things to change, and they just declined to address any of those. Your staff, myself included, felt like that was not a partnership we wanted to engage in. They were very reasonable changes, and we've really never ran into something like that before. And it was the venue of disputes, but there were other small, I think cash basis, they refused. I mean, they just wouldn't take any of the changes that we send back all the time. So I think it was more honestly, probably than the legal issues. This really didn't feel like someone we wanted
Customer
to partner
service.
with. Yeah.
Sure.
I would add that there are other players in the market. It's just we want to vet them first. So Dick and I think have a game plan to get us through this year, and we will be back later with a proposal.
And then Dick, in regards to the sprinkler system being done in January, but then we just found out we had a wire issue.
Yeah.
And that's not fixed for another couple weeks.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long, I guess, to figure out that we had a wire issue?
Well, we had a wire. We really didn't understand it until, I'm going to say, probably March of this year. It's on a T-box. It's on number 3 T-box. And so we didn't really understand that it wasn't working from the controller. We had tested it otherwise. And so it was late on our catch on our end. And then our contractor, the Dixon Irrigation Group, has been the season broke and they've been very busy. So we just water that tee manually. By that, I mean, we just have to go out and manually turn the valve on to operate. So it's not a big deal to us. We didn't press them on getting it done more promptly.
Thanks, Dick.
Anyone else? I get pictures on occasion from one of the loyal Green Valley
Okay.
residents, so it does look good from the pictures they send, and they're pretty happy with it, so.
Thank you. I'm pleased with the progress. Very good. Thanks again to all of you for your cooperation. I feel like I have a true partner in this endeavor. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, sir. 8-2, Andover YMCA update. YMCA General Manager Jacob Stein. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for letting me come and share a little bit. If you can believe it, we've been reopened for 13 months now. So I know I've seen a lot of your faces in the Y, so I'm happy about that. It's been a really cool experience. I've been in the Y for 15 years, and for 3 years I was the branch director at the Newton YMCA up in Newton, Kansas. And reopening, we had no idea what to expect in reopening, right? We obviously knew Andover was very popular but people had learned to go other places. And in comparison to Newton, which that Y has been there for almost 10 years, but the city of Newton and the county has kind of been really slow to adopt using the Y. It has been vastly different since we've reopened our doors in Andover. Just brought some numbers for you because I think it's pretty incredible what we see in a year and 13 months. So in 13 months, we have had just over 688,000 check-ins at the Andover YMCA alone. Every single month, for the most part, obviously summer we get busier, right? January we get busier. But because of the rebuild and because of people coming back, we've pretty much grown every single month. Normally in fitness industry, you kind of see a tail off in September and then it gets busy again in January. We've not seen that yet, with last month being the busiest month we've had so far at over 66,000 check-ins. But what does that actually mean as far as using the Y? That means 78,000 people or 78,000 times we've had somebody attend a group exercise class. We've had 34,000 parents drop off a kid at our kid zone. We've had 3,000 kids across all of our sports, basketball, football, soccer, flag football, volleyball, take the field or take the court in some capacity in the last 13 months. But then we've also served 150 kids in our Splash program, which is our free safety around water program that we offer to second graders in our community who would otherwise be unable to afford Splash. And we've had 8 people go through our 12-week Livestrong program, which is our free cancer survivorship program that we offer to anybody in our community who has ever been diagnosed with cancer. And in that time, in 13 months, we have had 3,000 new memberships sold at our front desk, which actually surpasses how many we lost due to the tornado. I know you guys know kind of the history of the last 5 years, right? But at the Y, we kind of look at things either pre-COVID or for Andover, pre-tornado, right? Because right after COVID, we were really building back up, and then the tornado happened, right? And that really halted us in what we were able to do in Andover. But we have surpassed all pre-tornado, and we are very close to surpassing pre-COVID time. And most of our branches are very close, but we've gone from obviously serving nobody to the 3rd busiest branch in the association. And the only thing that's really stopping us from being the 2nd and 1st is just time. We will for sure get there as I drive around Andover all the time. As you guys know, as we continue to grow, the Y will continue to grow. So that's all I had, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Do you feel like the new equipment, the equipment that wasn't being utilized, being replaced by the new equipment after the tornado has been beneficial?
Yeah, I mean, so probably 8 years ago, we switched how we do equipment, especially cardio equipment. We lease our equipment for 3 years. A third of our equipment we replace every 3 years, and so after 3 years, we would have all new cardio equipment anyways. And so that was kind of always in that world. But then obviously, whenever you're able to get everything new all at one time, you're really, really lucky. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's sad how it had to happen, but now that we're on the other side of it, I don't know if there's a nicer Y in the country than the one that we have.
So I'm referring to the rock wall being gone. Does it jump?
Oh yeah, with the Lucky Climber in place. I would say the Lucky Climber sees more people from 9 to noon on a Monday than the rock wall saw in a year.
Yeah, I thought.
I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm sure the one at the park is, I mean, my kids go on that one as well, right? It's just so much, rock climbing is very niche, right? And it's a lot harder than it looks if you've ever tried it. Like, it seems really easy. Where the Lucky Climber, we've actually, we didn't know what to expect. We thought we were going to have to send like the small petite ladies that work for us up the Lucky Climber regularly to rescue children. But I mean, kids kind of learned how high they wanted to go at first. And then, now it's just another regularly used thing in our facility.
All right.
Absolutely.
By the way, the mayor of Andover made it to the top of the rock wall in penny loafers and blue jeans and t-shirt, just in case anybody want to know.
Hey, I made it up to the top once too, and that was enough for me. That
Me
was
too.
enough for me.
On
It's a lot
everybody-
higher once you're up there than when you're looking down at it.
It's
So,
amazing what your pride can do to you when somebody challenges you, right?
100%, 100%.
How'd you do on the Lucky Climber?
I don't go up in it. I'm scared of it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody above the age or the height of maybe like 5'6" who's going to the top of the Lucky Climber. Did you make it?
Twice.
Twice?
He's not higher than 5'6" though, are
I
you?
was like,
Yeah.
5'7".
Yeah, 5'7". Oh, see, you did it.
All right, anyone, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Jacob, it looks like you have an event coming up at the end of August.
Oh.
Is that open to?
Yes, that is open to the community. So that is, I'm going to say in cooperation with us, but my advisory board that I have at the YMCA is planning and hosting and doing all of that. So should be a really great event. We've got confirmation of, I'm going to say 3 food trucks, but it's really 1 food truck and like 2 a drink truck, and then Kona Ice will be there as well. But we have a live DJ, but it should be a really fun event, and so would love to see everybody out there. But as you're out and about in your circles and your orbits, not everything that we always do is, we love our members, right? And so we try to, do things that benefit our members, but we wanted to make sure, and this is hopefully just the first annual Into Summer Bash. We hope that this year is just proof of concept, and as we continue to figure out what works and doesn't work, it'll grow and grow and grow.
Jacob, why did you cannibalize when we reopened? I mean, was it the North Y, the East Y?
It's a little bit of both of them. I mean, I'll take credit for cannibalizing the East Y because my wife's the branch director there. So no, East was. I mean, I can't imagine what it was. I didn't go there regularly day to day when they had both Andover and East, but East is kind of busting at the seams with just East. So when you take a bigger branch and put it inside of a smaller branch, I know there was some friction at times. But yeah, I mean, East, when you look at like their group exercise numbers and things of that nature, that was the branch that now, when you're comparing them to prior years, has the biggest drop in attendance. North a little bit. And then Steve Clark a little bit as well on WSU's campus, just because I think that was the one everybody kind of forgot about. So the people that knew that they could go didn't share that secret with anybody else.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jacob, in regards to basketball, I had the opportunity to have my son play in the basketball team at the Y, and I think we played some games at one of the schools there, Prairie Creek.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's a good partnership as far as the Andover School District and stuff, using those gyms? And
Yeah, I hope they feel it is as good as a partnership as we feel it is. We would not be able to serve as many kids in sports without Prairie Creek and I think it's the middle school. Helping us put on those games. I mean, our 3 courts alone would not be enough to serve 500 kids that we put through basketball. And so we are super, super thankful that they're willing to allow us to use those because we want to serve more, right?
And do you see the oversee the Farha complex as well?
I do not. So the Farhas, there's the one on our campus, and then there's one at South, and then South also has an indoor turf facility, and those are all, they have their own branch director that oversee them. And obviously we would love to be able to use that facility, but they have their own advanced program going, and then they host all of the AAU tournaments and MAYD tournaments.
Yeah, it seems like it's always busy.
Yeah, it's always hopping over there. It's always really obvious when you like turn on Yorktown, and you can tell when there's like traffic coming on a Saturday. You're like, oh, there must be something crazy going on over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Could I ask you to send me some bullet points on the stuff you do for folks that can't necessarily afford the Y, that get into the Y, that I can put into a mayor message? And
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I can absolutely send all of the kind of the community outreach sort of stuff that we do, scholarships and everything.
it may be a couple months, but I'd like to let people know that you're more than just a place to go work out.
Well, we would really appreciate that. I mean, that is, sometimes I would say our worst kept secret is we pride ourselves on being so much more than a gym and a swim, right? Like that is just the vessel in which we use to serve the community. But we do so much more than that.
I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't know, but I just, obviously you can tell by the way I'm shaped that I don't visit the Y often.
No, you're super. I mean, I see you there all the time. I don't know.
Circles of shape. Jake, could we also maybe get the numbers too in regards to like the Farha complex? The numbers on that in attendance and throughout the year?
I can try. I can send you.
I'm not like sticking you to like next week. Or
Yeah,
anything,
the biggest difference between them and us is they don't have people come in and check in, right?
Okay.
And so I'll be able to say, hey, we've hosted this many tournaments and this many kids at this facility. I just wouldn't be able to give you. You can make an assumption, right? If they put 1,000, I always say, if you put 1,000 kids through a sports program, you can guarantee Saturday you at least saw 3,000 because mom and dad are for sure coming as well. But I can try to nail that down for you.
We put a traffic counter on them all. So that's all right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for letting me have it this evening.
All right. Acceptance of agenda 191 to 96.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve consent agenda items 9.1 through 9.6 as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 10-1 final PUD Vista Ridge first. And Julie's going to talk to us about this tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, this is the final PUD for the Vista Ridge First Edition. You all approved the preliminary PUD for this subdivision on March the 11th. That was for the entirety of the subdivision. The final PUD that you have before you today is slightly revised from the original final PUD that we took through to the Planning Commission. It has been reduced down to these 25 lots that you see here on the southern part of the subdivision. And we understand that the intent is to plat this and then develop it in phases, like many subdivisions are. This is approximately 20 acres and will include the two reserves, A and B, that you can see on the PUD document there. And these properties will have the underlying SF2 single-family zoning, similar to surrounding properties. It will be very much the same as the Vista Ridge Second, which is right across Yorktown, not depicted on here, of course, but very much a similar development. I've got Jason Gish with MKC here to discuss further if you have any questions for him.
Anyone?
Julie, you said it's down to 25 lots now with the revision. How many was it prior?
If I am correct, it was 45 or 46.
Yeah, it's basically half.
Okay.
because we just reduced it.
It's our understanding that the total number, when all the
Right.
phases are finished, will be the same as the preliminaries.
All right. Anyone else?
So why do we do it like this? I mean, why don't we just go ahead and do the full PUD then with the full 50, if you will?
Probably more of a question for Jason than me. I want to take that one.
So good evening, Mayor and Council. So the developer decided that the letter of credit to do the full, not too many months ago, we were here with the full, well, we didn't quite make it here. We were almost ready and then we changed gears and decided to reduce it because while we could have platted the whole thing, then they would have had to put up letters of credit for everything, even if they only wanted to use half of it. So, or build half of it. So we elected to just go back and revise it down to this half. And this would be good anyhow. It's kind of safer, to start out this way. So that's what Mr. Ray intends to do.
Thanks, Mr. Gish.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
In regards to, sorry, Mr. Mayor.
No, go ahead.
And Julie, in regards to that north side, then when it's undeveloped, will the developer then still take care of that property,
They
mow it, and
do own it, so they do have to take care of it while it's in the city, yes.
thank you.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion? Thank you, Jason.
Thank you all.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission to approve the dedications of the land for public improvements in the revised Vista Ridge first final planned unit development.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 10-2 Vista Ridge First Edition petitions, resolutions of advisability and developers agreement. And Jolene is going to talk to us tonight.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have here, after the dedication of the land for public improvements, with your last agenda item, we have improvements petitions for the stormwater drainage, paving, water, and sanitary sewer for Vista Ridge First Edition. And these will be paid 100% through special assessments by the benefiting properties. And if you have any questions, either myself or Jason are happy to stand for them.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the petitions for stormwater drainage, paving, water, and sanitary sewer improvements, approve the developers agreement, and adopt a resolution of advisability related to Vista Ridge First in addition of Andover, Kansas.
Second.
So I do got a question, I guess. So that's right where the new road's going in. Are we working well together to make sure all that ties in together as far as whose is what, or are we're taking responsibility for a lot of the new stuff, or how's that work?
Yes, so the engineers have worked very well together, MKC and PC, and also with the other development, Bothman, to coordinate in terms of especially where the utilities and the roads will tie into each other. And it's been a really good partnership, I think. So Jason's nodding, so that's a great thing. So Les has been kind of the point on all of the different projects. That is something that PEC is also heavily involved in terms of being able to do the inspection on those for us.
All right. Les pretty good at what he does, isn't he? I wouldn't say that if he's sitting here. So, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 10-3 Vista Ridge First Edition Work Ordinance, and Jolene again will speak to us.
Mayor and Council, this is the related work ordinance authorizing the construction of the internal improvements from your last item.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to adopt an ordinance authorizing the construction of certain internal improvements related to the Vista Ridge First Edition.
Second.
Any further? I just drew a blank. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. I apologize. Anytime I see Matt's name, it just makes me smile and I get stuck. It confuses me. So 2026 budget indication to exceed revenue neutral rate, resolution to exceed RNR and set up public hearing. And Matt will talk to us about this.
Thank
how
you,
are you
Mr.
doing?
Mayor. I have that effect on people.
Yeah.
You distracted me. I thank you for letting me present it tonight. We are not asking you to approve the budget or anything official on the budget. The main goal for tonight is to set the public hearing for both the revenue neutral rate hearing and the budget hearing. But we did do this a little bit different than we have done in the past years, where we kind of chunked this out and we do revenue neutral rate intent and have you approve that and set the hearing and then come back to you with the budget notification and for publishing and bring that out. We're bringing it all to you tonight. So then I'm going to take a couple of council meetings off, not like I'll be here, but we won't have to talk about the budget again until the night of this public hearing. And then subsequently the first meeting in September is when we will approve the budget. So just a little bit about the first one, which is the revenue neutral rate intent. This is us notifying the county of the city's intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. Our mill rate for 2025, our certified mill rate was 23.805. The revenue neutral rate, which would be the amount, the tax rate that it would take to generate the same number of dollars for 2026, was 40.845. And the city is proposing a budget of 42.981 mils. That is a reduction from what we're currently levying. You'll recall that we inadvertently, the 2025 certified rate was a little higher than intended. So we are proposing a budget to take us back to what it was certified in 2024 at 42.981 mils.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move we adopt a resolution setting a public hearing regarding the city of Andover's intention to levy a property tax exceeding the revenue neutral rate, or R&R, for Tuesday, August 26, 2025 at 7 p.m. at 1609 East Central Avenue in Andover, Kansas, to hear testimony from all interested taxpayers desiring to be heard as required by the state, and authorize the mayor to sign the notice of revenue neutral rate intent document.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 11.2, notice of public hearing for revenue neutral rate and the 2026 annual budget. And
Mis-
again, Matt.
Mr.
will-
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve notice setting the public hearing for the 2026 City of Andover budget for Tuesday, August 26, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Andover City Hall, 1609 East Central Avenue, Andover, Kansas, and publishing the mill levy rate at mill levy rate at 42.981 mils.
Second.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you all.
12.1, amending ordinance storm billing, and Jolene will talk to us about this.
Before you tonight is an ordinance to amend the city code in regards to our stormwater utility fee and the way that the late fees are assessed. I want to thank Madeline Alter, our senior staff accountant, for the research that she did into this. In general, this has caused just some processing issues in terms of our late notices. Our billing system does not allow for us to assess late fees via the different utilities that we bill for. Rather, it simply will assess as 10% late fee across the entire bill. So this amending ordinance revises the penalty section in the code for your stormwater utility fee to match and to be the same as your recycling and trash fee, as well as your sewer fee, or your sewer billing, sorry. The changes to the code are outlined below, and it's just to allow for late fees to be assessed after the 15th versus the 20th day. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to stand for them.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Did we take on a new system? How did this?
No, what we
caught, I guess?
had been doing was simply delaying our late fees until the 20th. And to be real honest, this has caused a lot of issues in turning around late notices and then doing the billing for the next month.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Article 5, Section 19-525 of the City Code regarding penalty provisions and delinquency timing for stormwater management fees.
Second.
Jody?
Yep.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 13-1, park naming Station Park, and Daniel's going to talk to us about this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You're probably been keeping tabs on the Fire Station 2 property. The playground park is getting closer to being done. And keeping with our precedent lately, as we've brought on some new properties, we had the Parks and Rec Advisory Board take this under consideration for a name for the new park at the June 11th meeting. So before you tonight is their recommendation for you to either accept or modify or have us restart and review. But their recommendation for you is to consider the name Station Park as the formal name for the new playground.
I would like to mention that Councilman Paul Wimmer is the chairman of that Parks and Advisory Board. So he's been running that for a couple years now, and I'm glad that he took that off my hands because I wasn't the best at it, but he does it very well.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
It seems kind of plain to me, station, it doesn't really tell me the station that it is. I feel like station maybe even says like there's going to be a bunch of stations there. Maybe I work out at. I appreciate the Parks and Rec, I guess, recommending this name. But I will say just kind of plain, when I Googled it, there's a park in Utah that comes up that has some amenities with that same name. Granted, that's far enough away. I don't think it'll be confused, but you never know with some of the folks that use the Google.
The Google.
And I'm fine with not making it somebody's name, and it follows along with how we've done other parks. I just wish we could. And, I'm thinking about the length of the name, what's on the sign, that kind of stuff. So seeing that there was, how many people are on the Parks and Rec board? 10?
There were
Nine.
nine, but there were 5 voting members present at the meeting.
So seeing that those 5 people then decided to come up with this name, I'm not, I don't want to steer too much away from it, but that would be my feelings if, we were to take up maybe a discussion of more than 5 people. So.
Yeah, ultimately, you're the group to decide. And
I'm like Homer. I feel that, we just kind of, I don't know how they came up with the name Station Park. And Daniel, can you fill us in how the group came up with Station
it
Park?
was fairly short conversation. There was a little bit of an emphasis to keep the name short and simple for the age group that the playground and park is focused on.
Okay.
I don't know that there was a lot of extreme in-depth discussion about. I mean, I don't know, Rick, if you remember anything else from it. I see you reaching for your mic. So
We had one member whose wife had proposed that name and felt like that would be a good name for it. We had been referring to it as Fire Station Park because we just had to call it something all along. And they chose that. We had 1 or 2 members that felt like just 2 words was what they were looking for. So you have Station Park, and one member mentioned that name, and that's how I think it came about. And I will tell you that I did tell them at the meeting that I reminded them that their job is to make a recommendation, much like our job sometimes as staff members to make recommendations to you, and your job is to either accept, change, or modify it however you see fit, and that you guys have that right to do that, and they're aware of that.
Mr. Mayor?
Do you have any questions?
I was kind of thinking the same, similar thing too. Maybe even another word in there, South Station Park or something.
I was just thinking Fire Station Park.
Yeah.
I mean, is there, oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Were you
Yeah,
done?
no, that's maybe this is something we probably should have had come to workshop We could have had our 2 cents in it too.
Is there anything holding the finish up if we delay naming it at this time?
Well, just the final sign install. We have the brackets and everything made. We're ready to print them. It goes on and have it ready to go.
We're making the sign in-house though.
We are printing the sign in-house and adhering it to a metal that was fabricated for us.
Philip, what you got on your mind?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I think this is a little bit basic. When I first read it, I really did feel like there probably needed to be a third word in there. I get the simplicity of keeping it short, but it just sounds very basic and bland and plain, and saying Station Park can mean a lot of different things in my opinion. So I just think it needs to be Fire Station Park, or it needs to be something of that nature. Just Station Park just doesn't sound right to me, to be totally honest.
So it says here, accept, modify, not accept. So how do we fall into, if they want to modify it, do that, send it back to them, or? do we
No,
change
sir,
it?
you all, that is intended for someone to make a motion to either to accept the recommendation, to modify the recommendation. So I'm hearing Fire Station Park, so maybe you would modify that name, or to just not accept it. And then if that was the case, that would need to come back at another time.
Is that, go ahead, Jody.
I think I would like to maybe have a little bit more discussion. I do agree with what all of you guys have said. And I do feel like it is, for all that went into it and for how great it's going to be. I just feel like Station Park doesn't quite give it that feel that we're looking for. So I would say to not accept versus modify tonight.
I would agree with that too, especially we've talked about this probably for less than 10 minutes. And I mean, so if they came up with that, then only however long, but I think that a little bit extra time and effort probably would be good.
Well,
Mr.
vote.
Mayor?
I think the best way to do
Oh,
is.
do we need to-
Go ahead.
Do we need him?
Yeah.
I move to not accept the Parks and Rec Advisory Board's recommendation to name the park property located at Fire Station number 2 as Station Park.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Just, could we put that on the next workshop possibly?
Sure.
Let
I
it-
should say, assuming the mayor wants to do that, he sets your agenda.
I do have a quick
I was, of
question.
course, talking to the mayor on it.
I do have a quick question. I know that we were looking at hopefully end of July to
July
open that
22nd.
Opening is July 22nd. You will not have a sign with the
Okay,
name on.
and
the
that, as long
park.
as everybody understands that's, okay.
Everybody all right with
Thank you.
that, or?
Yeah.
Tim, your thoughts?
Oh, I'm just really confused why, I mean, they met June 11th. Why are we just now hearing about it? I mean, we've had what, 4 workshops since then? Why could we not have chatted about it then? And we could have been in consensus now and voted on it, and Rick could have gotten the signs. And I mean, we're 2 weeks from the park being open officially, and we're just now hearing about the name of the park.
I appreciate that feedback, and I think that is good for us to hear that feedback. I'm not sure that it seemed like it needed an abundance of discussion. We have been naming our parks for years now based on where they are. Cornerstone Park, Village Park, Harry Street Nature Park, Central Park. I don't need to go on. You
Guess if
get
they
it.
called
So,
Minnehaha Park, it'd be a little different than Station Park. So,
and to be completely clear, I expected the recommended name to be Fire Station Park. I too was surprised. All that to say, it is a recommendation. So I think the question is just how much time you all think you need to wrestle with the discussion. If you feel like you can decide it here, that is the purpose of a city council meeting. So you're certainly able to do that.
I mean, does anybody have any names that they're strongly drawn to that's not Fire Station Park? I think Fire Station 2 Park doesn't really
I don't
feel
think-
appropriate. Anybody else?
My only thing, did we decide that we were putting a bunch of fire station themed things out there, or was it first responders?
No, it is primarily fire themed. There's a firehouse. There's a thing, looks like a fire truck in it and fire hydrant and those type of things.
And I'm assuming the things that are back in our room back there, those are for the fire station park? Or,
Yes,
excuse me, the
yes. And the
Park by the
signage,
fire station?
the informational signage is all generated around fire safety and such.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we adopt the name Fire Station Park for the,
Hold on,
Can I-
Tim.
no.
We have to,
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I thought we already went through that. My
So
bad.
what do we need?
you have to rescind yours.
Right.
There's a motion on.
Am I right? There's a motion on the floor to,
Right.
To not accept.
to not accept Station Park.
To,
And you haven't voted on that, so you can vote on that and then entertain another motion.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we
So-
already approved that.
So when we do, when we do, so we're going to vote. And then Tim, if you do use the word modify instead of
I'll just make a motion. Yeah.
to modify, because that's the difference. Okay. So, all right. All in favor of not accepting it, say aye.
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 How many was that?
5.
Five.
Five, okay. All right, now, Mr. Berry.
Mr. Mayor, I move to modify the Parks Advisory Board's recommendation and change the name to Fire Station Park.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
I guess you'll have to get a little bit longer sign.
It fits. The prototype had,
And I just
The
threw that
language.
out there, so if anybody else wants to name something else.
The only other one I had
That
in
sounds
mind,
better.
the only other one I had in my mind is like Jenny said was Minna. You know, I say Andover Park, but that didn't really ring too much. I liked Minnehaha Park, but then I guess I was thinking back to like Megan and logos and reproduction of Minnehaha, you know. So I like Fire Station. I don't even know. I'll just,
All right, all
just
right,
throwing
all
that
right.
out.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that's five, right?
That's 5.
All
think so.
opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. And let these folks know that we didn't think it was horrible. We just thought it needed more. They do good work.
Daniel, so I see there's rain in the forecast about 7 of the next 10 days. If that were to happen, are we still comfortable with the July 22nd grand opening, even if we do get tons of storms?
we look pretty good right now.
Okay.
A lot of the work on the lodge is indoors. And the concrete work by and large is done at Fire Station
Okay.
Park.
You just got used to saying Station Park Building.
Heritage Plaza, Park Plaza.
I'm still trying to figure out Heritage Square Park, man. You know, that was too many words. All right. Thank you, Daniel. All right. 14-1 recess city council meeting. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to recess the city council meeting and convene as the Andover Land Bank.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. I'm gonna call the meeting to order July 8th, 2025 at 7:50. We'll do roll call and staff will not be participating in the roll call. And I will start with Councilman Warrington.
Mike Warrington, do I say
Trustee.
okay? All right, trustee.
Jody O'Cades, trustee.
Ronnie Price, trustee.
Homer, trustee.
Phil Hamilton, trustee.
Tim Berry, trustee.
Right. Land Bank background. The city council formed the Andover Land Bank by approving ordinance number 1967 on June 24th, 2025, and published it on June 28th, 2025. The ordinance established a city land bank, the board of trustees of which will consist of the members of the city council and one non-voting member to be selected by the mayor, who shall serve as secretary and treasurer. Noting for the record, this is the first meeting, so there will be no minutes to approve. All right, this time I call for a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the mayor's appointment of the city clerk as a non-voting member of the board as a secretary treasurer to the land bank, currently served by Dana Engstrom.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Trustee Price,
Yes,
I recommend we move to waive the requirements for a secretary treasurer to maintain a bond.
Second. Phil.
any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Trustee Price.
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the notice setting the public hearing date and time regarding the land bank annual budget for August 26, 2025 at 7 PM at Andover City Hall.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Trustee
Just-
Price.
Just for the record, Chair Price.
Sure.
Actually, the motions have carried 6-0, assuming you have
Oh,
been in favor, because unlike when you're the mayor, you actually count
oh.
as a trustee.
You actually count.
You count.
So,
Okay.
Thanks for
just-
counting on this one.
Just a minor correction that we'll put in the minutes, but the votes will be 6-0.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Trustee Price,
No,
Wow.
Chairman Price.
Chairman Price,
Chairperson.
Chairperson.
Would y'all stop? So now I need a motion to adjourn to,
I move to adjourn the meeting of the Andover Land Bank and reconvene as the Andover City Council.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Take a
Good
shot,
odds.
chunky kid, every time we get a chance.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to reconvene as the Andover City Council.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Huh? No, I don't.
Couldn't count on that one, right, JT?
Man, the one thing, man, we won't do it again for who knows how long. All right, member items. I'd like to start just because it made me think of it. So, just for the public to know that the city council has 3 meetings a month, but all of our council members do stuff above and beyond city council, whether it be site plan, help me out. Jamie. WAMPO, library board, school
Library,
board. what do you
school
do?
board.
Traffic safety. There's just a myriad of, Tim does, I don't know what Tim does. I wasn't gonna say that with your dad in the audience. But no, but he did sit on, and thank you for commenting on that, by the way, where they were, I felt like, I wasn't sure how that read, Tim. So I digress a little bit, but I want to thank them and let everybody know that there's not just 3 meetings a week. There's other things we do, and we have, the advisory board that don't, get paid by the taxpayer dollars, site plan don't get paid by the taxpayer dollars.
Planning zone.
Planning, zoning don't get paid. So there's a lot of things that go on. And people volunteer their time, and I just want to take a minute to tell them thank you that, because it goes unnoticed. So, and what was I going to say? Oh, I was so in that, I thought that they were saying, insinuating on that, whatever you call it, that they were insinuating we may have paid too much. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that they knew that we did our fire stations with the intent to protect our firefighters and our first responders, not only when they leave, but especially when they come back. So with the red lights, it looked pretty, but there's an intent for it. So I hope he reaches out to you, because you can speak more intelligently than I can about it.
Mayor Wu has reached out. So, I mean, I've had a few conversations with Mayor Wu and
Okay.
yeah, so no, he has not yet.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure, but thank you for reaching out like that. And that's all I got.
I was just going to ask the police and fire, how did the 4th go? Any incidents, calls, or et cetera?
So we'll do a report. Today, we went live on our CAD RMS system. So she's going to be pulling the numbers, and then I'll present with a report. It was probably pretty average is what I would say. There were a few other incidences that the fire chief will talk about that they dealt with a little bit more than we did, but you're typical. You had some people getting called in by neighbors of shooting them past different times or.
Hypothetically speaking.
We were probably average across the entire period. July 4th evening, we did have a family who took their fireworks that were just to be disposed of, put them in their dumpster and wheeled it directly up to the house, caught the side of the house on fire, went into the soffit and basically burned the top of the house off.
Oh, wow.
So no injuries. Everybody's okay.
Burn the house?
Yep. Yep. Your firefighters did a good job, but wish we wouldn't have to do that. Other than that, it was pretty nominal. We don't have any, we will get reports about injuries, especially through KMC and such. So we make sure we get those to the state fire marshal. We don't have any of that information yet.
What area of town was that in?
It was on Williamsburg.
Where's that?
Behind the Catholic Church,
Off
south of Catholic
Andover
Church.
Road.
Behind St. Vincent.
Green Valley.
All right. Anyone else?
No,
Good
that's it.
question.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just want to remind everybody, next Thursday is Battle of the Badges between the police and fire. If I recall, fire is the reigning champion by 1 vote. It was very close. So they are going to be setting up at both Fire Station 2 as well as the Andover Police Department. So please, please, please get out, donate blood. It's a great cause, and vote for your favorite badge.
Yeah, I would like to add, I'm sorry, this is pretty important, Mr. No, I was just Chairman. gonna add if you need an appointment.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes, you
Yes.
do. And when you do sign up, if you are a donor and have the app, you can actually put in and it will give you either the Fire Station 2 or Andover PD and the times that are available, because there are different times. They do overlap, but there are different times at both spots. So just make sure, I know you guys are running shift changes, so I know your times are a little bit different than fire, but just make sure that you look at that. You do pick your location and pick your time.
Yes, and then what I was going to add is if you are at the police department, you're still able to vote fire. If you come to the fire department, you really need to vote for fire if you're at the fire station. It would only make sense. Thank you. Just bring the remote control batties. Yeah, yeah.
So then let me ask, if you're at the fire station, you can still vote for the police?
No, not at all. That would be rude.
Again, and you are the reigning champion by 1 vote. 1 vote.
And what was the date again?
How many times do you get blood, Chief?
July 17th, next Thursday. So very important.
Chief was anemic the next day.
You can donate
I'm
to
sorry, go
choose.
ahead, y'all. Yeah. Are you
You're
done?
good. Yep,
Okay.
I'm done.
Homer?
I don't have anything on, yeah, maybe I do. No, I don't. Have a good rest of the week, guys. Blessings to you.
Nothing from me.
I have a couple. Chief Buck, I just want to reach out and say how amazing Blake, is it Elson? Is it Sergeant Elson? How great he was. We were at a street party up in Crescent Lakes on Thursday evening celebrating the 4th. He stopped by and he was just great with everybody. I mean, he wasn't there to, he was just doing his community service job. So he was amazing with the kids. He was amazing with the adults. He was dancing. He was dancing without liquor, which is great. That doesn't happen too often. So, I just want to say that our officers, because I had another one that stopped by my house on Friday, Richard Scott. Is that
PSA?
So yeah. But no, Elson was amazing. He was great with the kids, great with the adults. He was having good community policing. A lot of the kids are like, why is he here? Are we doing something wrong? And he was just there to just say hi and check up. And so he was great. And then Richard Scott, he one thing I will say is he had no clue who Homer and I were, which is great in a way, I guess. But he had no clue who we were. We were on the city council or anything, but he was extremely polite, extremely professional with us, even though he had no, so that to me, that just shows that he treats everybody that way. So I just want to say thank you to those two.
Great to hear.
gentlemen. So,
Definitely, especially with Blake's, we'll put that in his file.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have those attaboys that you forget about throughout the year and you do evaluations. So
Yeah,
it's
he-
definitely important. And a good thing about Blake is we're actually doing his pinning ceremony for Sergeant here in another week or so.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's all I got,
Did,
Mr. Mayor.
did you and Homer quickly let Officer Scott know
No,
who you were?
no.
You didn't drop any names or that you know people?
No,
I was
think
already
my
pulled
wife
over
did,
on the way to
actually,
Tim's.
but I think my wife did after everything was done because she invited him in, and he's and I get it. He's a police officer. It's you don't know who you're coming in, and she's like, oh, it's okay. This is Councilman Barry. He's on. So you can come on. We're not going to kill you. So so it was good though. He was a great. Yeah, he was a great guy. So I appreciate it.
I tell people I'm the mayor of Andover and they say, sure you are. I'm the Pope, right? All right.
Blessings.
Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.